Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Boston University webinar, Career Opportunities, Expanding the Financial Planning Profession, hosted by BU's Financial Planning Program Director, Carolyn Tommen, CFP. My name is Sarah, and I will be moderating today's presentation alongside our presenters, Carolyn and Carrie Scott, our Enrollment Manager. Today, Carolyn will introduce you to BU's online financial planning program and share the career outlook for CFPs and the need for diverse practitioners. Okay, so here is our agenda for today. We will first discuss what is financial planning, next, fostering growth in the profession, and we will wrap up with an overview of BU's financial planning program and what one can expect as a student enrolled in our certificate. It is now my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Carolyn Tommen. Carolyn has a wealth of knowledge and experience in the financial planning industry, having helped students for the past 26 years. With Carolyn's efforts to help develop the BU program, she joins us today to speak to the need for financial advisors and CFP professionals in today's dynamic workforce. Thank you, Carolyn.
And thank you very much, Sarah. Hi, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. What I'd like to do is start off our presentation by beginning with a slide that says, what is financial planning? And I'd like to begin by just explaining really what financial planning is all about. And that's because many people believe financial planning only involves investment planning or portfolio management. And while that is a really very important part of financial planning, it's not the whole picture, because financial planning is actually a collaborative process that helps maximize a person's potential for meeting their life goals. Financial planning combines the subjects of insurance planning, income tax planning, retirement planning, estate planning, and college education planning. And we put them all together when we help clients meet their personal and financial goals. And helping our clients improve their financial circumstances is a very important reason why 90% of CFP professionals say that they're either satisfied or highly satisfied with their career choice. Okay, so let's talk about the skills that are necessary. It really is a misconception that people have about financial planning, that it's all about crunching numbers for clients, when really the most important skills needed to be successful in this career include things like communication skills, so that you can establish a rapport with your clients. It's really very important to understand your clients' needs and their wants, fears, and objectives, so that you can ultimately help them meet their life goals. And also counseling skills are important too, to help motivate your clients to take certain actions and to keep them focused on meeting their goals. Also, you need to learn how to build client relationships that are long-lasting and that are based on mutual trust. And also educating clients about how your financial planning recommendations will help them to achieve their goals. Now, I'm sure you're aware that many professionals may call themselves financial planners or financial advisors, but the CFP credential is recognized as the standard of excellence in the financial planning profession. Certified financial planners must go through a 4-step process to become certified, and we call that the 4 E's. The first E is education, which means completing a CFP program that's approved by CFP Board, such as the BU Financial Planning Program. The next E is examination, which means completing a rigorous CFP board exam at the end of your studies. The exam is computer-based, and it is taken at a Prometric testing center near you. The third E stands for work experience, which means satisfying the CFP Board's 2 or 3-year work experience requirements. Your previous work experience is reviewed to see if it qualifies after you pass the exam. But if you don't have any work experience, then you will have 5 years to obtain it after you pass the exam. And the last E is for ethics, since all CFP professionals are held to very high ethical standards. CFP professionals have a fiduciary duty to put their clients' interests first before their own. That distinguishes CFPs from many other financial advisors who do not have the CFP certification. it's reported that 9 out of 10 Americans want fiduciary advisors who put their interests first when providing investment advice. The public respects and trusts financial planners with CFP certification, and we have an obligation to uphold that trust by always acting as a fiduciary when providing financial advice and financial planning services to our client. Now, let's talk about the fact that this is a growing field. You know, the financial planning profession has only been around for 50 years, and surveys show that the public wants to work with CFP professionals. And even though there are now anywhere between 83,000 to 86,000 CFPs in this country, more CFP practitioners are needed to meet this public demand. And on the next slide, we show you that financial planning is a growing and a sustainable career. As you can see by some of these statistics from the Department of Labor, 4 to 5 times more job growth is forecasted for financial advisors on average than for all other occupations through the year 2022. And there's also a 15% growth rate projection through the year 2026. And unemployment for financial advisors is at a very low 1.8%. A Cerulli study done in 2015 found that 1 in 6 advisors are planning to retire in the next 10 years. So it's not surprising that right now there are more financial planners over the age of 70 than there are under the age of 30. And besides being a growing profession, financial planning is also a very rewarding career. The job financial advisors ranks highly by U.S. News and World Report, since it's listed as number 44 out of the best 100 jobs. And it is ranked as number 9 as the best business job in the United States. Now, salaries for financial advisors are up to 59% above the national averages in some cities, such as Boston, San Francisco, Dallas, and Phoenix, with an average pay for CFP practitioners of $81,288. However, lead advisors with CFP certification earned a median income of $115,000 plus $27,750 in bonuses as well. All right, now let's talk about the advantages of CFP certification. What we've done is we've listed here 4 distinct advantages for becoming a CFP practitioner that we'd like to share with you. The ITA group found in 2016 that CFP professionals have a competitive advantage, and that's because 70% of consumers that utilize financial planners choose to work with CFP professionals. And there's also a potential for greater professional success. 70% of CFP professionals say that CFP certification has a positive impact on client trust and technical expertise. And also grading earning potential has been reported. CFP professionals can earn 26% more than other financial advisors as adjusted for years of experience. And CFP professionals may have more lucrative practices. Financial planning practices with CFP practitioners generate 40% more revenue and attract 53% more ultra and high net worth clients than firms without CFP professionals. Now, public awareness of CFP professionals is growing too, and we'll show that on the next slide here. Consumer use of financial advisors has increased from 28% to 40% in the last 5 years, with 7 out of 10 consumers reporting that they work with CFPs. And 80%, or actually 87% of those who do work with CFPs say that they are very satisfied, versus 72% of those who work with financial advisors who do not have CFP certification. And we also want you to be aware, too, that this is a great time for women and people of color to enter financial planning because they are so underrepresented in the profession. Women represent only 31% of financial advisors in this country, and just 23% of women are CFP professionals. Sadly, this figure has not changed in more than 20 years. And studies show, too, that less than 3.5% of CFP professionals in the United States are Black and Latino. This is significantly less than the population percentages for Blacks and Latinos in this country, so they are significantly underrepresented. Now, the CFP Board has the Center for Financial Planning, and their goal is to build a more diverse and sustainable workforce. The BU program supports the center's mission. Therefore, we offer mentoring and career counseling services to help our students successfully enter this profession. Now, we also put up a slide here because I want you to see why the CFP profession is ideal for women. And that's because I personally would like to encourage more women to enter this profession. And I want to share these very interesting results from CFP Board Survey with you. So here's what other women CFP professionals have reported. 72% were much more likely to be very satisfied with their career versus 53% of women advisors without CFP certification. 84% reported that their jobs were highly ethical, which strongly appeals to many working women. 78% said that their work was people-focused. So again, the soft skills like communication and counseling skills that are needed to work with clients takes precedence in the financial planning profession. But this is one that is really extremely important for us to see, is that many women CFP professionals agreed that this career path affords personal flexibility in striking a work-life balance and when starting a family. For many women, finding a career like financial planning that gives them the work-life balance that they need is a very important consideration. Now, we've gone ahead and put together a profile of women advisors here. It's interesting to see that women often take different career paths than men. So CFP Board found that 32% of women were paid a salary versus 13% for men, that 27% of women practiced in large financial planning firms versus 18% for men, and that 39% of women owned all or part of their own practice versus 63% of men. And here's a very important takeaway from the slide, that 46% of women CFP professionals believe that women have the right skills and characteristics to be a successful financial planner. Now, there are many reasons to increase diversity in the financial planning profession, especially to ensure that financial planning is more accessible to an underserved population. The census projections estimate that people of color will become the majority of the U.S. population in the year 2045. The median weekly earnings for Black Americans has increased by 33% over the past 14 years. Also, the real median household income for Latinos has increased by 6.1% from the years 2014 through 2015. The combined buying power for Blacks and Latinos is valued at over $1 trillion and is expected to increase. A CFP Board study has shown that a diverse workforce increases employee performance and retention, and it influences employees to think more creatively about solutions to complex problems. So let's go over why CFP profession is ideal for people of color. And I would say that career satisfaction is a major reason why people of color enter the financial planning profession. 61% of Black and Latino CFP professionals are highly satisfied with their careers, which is very similar to that of their white counterparts. And that may be due to the flexibility for them to be able to make their own schedules, to be their own boss, and to have a very healthy work-life balance. 59% of Latino CFP professionals and 68% of Black CFP professionals are very likely to recommend financial planning as a career to others. And that also may be due to the high and stable income after the first few years of working in the financial planning field. And a very high 88% of Black and Latino CFP professionals mainly enter the field because it helps people overcome financial challenges, and it expands access to financial services in underserved communities. So I'd like to continue talking about career opportunities too, just because there are so many different types of firms that hire CFP professionals, and many large institutional firms right now are looking to increase diversity within their workforce. So here are just some broad generalizations of places where you could work. First of all, there are banks, especially the trust departments. Banks may offer portfolio management, tax planning, estate planning, and financial planning for their clients. We've also listed insurance companies here too, because they're increasingly offering financial planning services in addition to selling insurance products. And also accounting firms, because there are many tax planning firms that offer financial planning and investment planning services to their clients. And of course, we have brokerage firms and mutual fund companies. They frequently encourage their employees to get CFP certification, and they're very eager to hire CFP professionals. But I've put some offbeat type of professions up here for you too. For example, human resources, because human resources provide employee benefits to employees, which is part of the CFP Board's curriculum. And also nonprofit organizations are interested in hiring CFP professionals too, because charitable planning is an important part of the CFP curriculum as well. And of course, you can work for financial planning firms. They range in size from large institutional firms to the smaller independent boutique firms. And we have them listed on our next slide. If we can pull that up, there we go. All right, so firms have different business models, and they have different compensation models too that you should be looking into when you're comparing practices. Another thing that I want you to be aware about is that retiring practitioners right now are looking for new planners to train and eventually to take over their financial planning practices. And we know this for a fact because there are so many employers who will contact Boston University when they're looking for people to enter the field in entry-level financial planning positions. Another thought, too, is that you could start your own financial planning practice. And there is a lot of help available for entrepreneurs who wish to do this through the Garrett Planning Network. That's a network that is there to help fee-only financial planners. There's also the XY Planning Network, which works with millennials. And also there is a tremendous amount of support from your local financial planning professional organizations, such as the FPA, which is the Financial Planning Association, and also from NAPFA, NAPFA, that's the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. So if you're really interested in starting your own practice, I would suggest to you it would be important to contact some of your local organizations and get started meeting some people and doing some networking and speaking to those who have done that before you. One other thought for you as well is that you could also buy an existing financial planning practice. And I just want you to be aware of some entry-level positions in the financial planning field. And these would include things like client service or financial planning associate. Other jobs list power planner openings. You could be an operations associate, and you could also be an investment research analyst. So those are just some ways that you can get into the financial planning field. Okay, now what's really important is to talk about the BU Financial Planning Program. I want you to understand that this is a self-study program that is 100% online. Therefore, that means that you have access to the program 24/7, and you can complete your studies at your own pace and at your own convenience. Now, the BU program is one of the oldest financial planning programs in the country, and it's typically ranked as one of the top 5 programs in the country, too. The online program was ranked number 2 by thebestschools.org. What we have at BU is a 7-course certificate program, which might take, on average, I'd say maybe 1 to 2 years to complete. We also have rolling admissions so that once you enroll, you can start your courses right away. Now, because it's self-study, we want you to know that we have lots of support for you too. We offer instructor support through the FP facilitator, who you may contact as often as you like. And you can also post questions to discussion boards that are available in each course. The program also offers live instructor-led webinars every 2 weeks so that you can get all of your questions answered that way too. Or you can even listen to a recorded webinar at your own convenience. One of the new features to the program is that for the Capstone course, we offered a faculty-led instruction through weekly webinars and Q&A sessions. And that was to help our students complete their financial planning capstone projects. So we're looking at, it seems that it was very successful this past semester, and we're going to be offering it again going forward. Also, next year, we're going to be adding more faculty videos to our program. We have many of them now in all of the courses, but we find that they're really designed to help you prepare for the art and the practice of financial planning, and we've gotten great feedback from our students who really like those short videos in the program. And also, at the completion of the program, you can receive a Boston University certificate in financial planning if you meet BU's education requirements. Now, I do want you to be aware of one of the important scholarships that we have available to our students. For the past 10 years, BU has offered an annual Robert J. Glovsky Scholarship to our students who wish to provide financial planning services to underserved populations. This is a merit-based $2,000 tuition scholarship that is applied towards course tuition. And we hope that you will consider applying for our scholarship if you intend to work with the underserved clients. And also, we want you to be aware that there's another feature of our program is that we offer mentoring and career guidance services to our students. I'm always willing to speak with you by phone or email to help you stay on track with your studies or to help you enter the financial planning profession. One of the things that I'm really excited about is that the Financial Planning Association will be rolling out a mentor match program in the Boston area very soon. And they're going to be able to provide you with practical career advice through mentoring. And also, the CFP Board offers a WIN, a WIN mentoring program that is available to all students and is accessible through their website. And for the last slide here, saving the very best for the last, I just want to mention about our BU instructors. All of the 10 BU instructors that we have associated with the online program are CFP practitioners. And also, many of them hold other professional designations as well, such as CPA, CFA, JD, EA, CLU, and CHFC. Our faculty are all specialists in their fields, and many of them have considerable experience teaching financial planning courses and test prep reviews. We've also added a picture up here of Fong Long. Fong is our financial planning facilitator who you may contact at any time throughout your studies to get your curriculum-related questions answered. And now what I'd like to do is to show you some resources that are available to you from CFP Board. We have things like I'm a Pro campaign, which are short videos, which are so interesting to be able to learn about younger millennials who are entering this field, what some of their challenges are, and why they love financial planning. But the CFP Board does so much more than that. They have WIN advocates. They have the mentor program that I spoke of. They also have their own career center, which we certainly encourage you to take a look at. And then again, we have the Center for Financial Planning, where there are many different scholarships available for students who are seeking CFP certification. All right, thank you so much.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. At this time, I would now like to turn it over to Carrie Scott to provide an overview of the program format and tuition. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you very much. So there are 3 different options available to people who are interested in enrolling in the BU CFP full program. Option number 1 is the standard online program. This is the full program, which includes all 7 courses. The tuition for that is $4,395. For this particular option, I do want students to be aware that they would be responsible for purchasing the textbooks for the course. Option number 2 is the full online program plus books. The books are required, but this gives you the convenience of having us ship the books to you. So it makes it very simple for students. The full program plus books is normally $5,895. There is a bit of a discount, so that particular option is $4,995. Again, all 7 courses plus the books. Last but certainly not least is the full program plus books and review. That review is for after the BU program is over, but prior to taking the CFP board exam. That particular option is normally $7,095, but with the bundle discount, it is $5,895. With all 3 of these options, students do have the choice of doing a payment in full or a 6-month interest-free payment plan. That is something that you can do directly on our website within the shopping cart. Our shopping cart will always default to payment in full, but there is a little button. Just click the button and you'll see the payment plan go into effect. Next slide, please. Students are also able to enroll in a single course at a time. Often students who may be being reimbursed by their employer choose to do the program this way so that they can pay for a course and then be reimbursed for a course. This way there won't be as large of an out-of-pocket expense. All the courses are listed here. The first 6 courses, Introduction to Financial Planning through Estate Planning, are $695. This is for the single course without the book. If you are interested, you do have the option to get the book again so that it will just be shipped to your house. And it would be $100 additional for the book. So these prices would all be $795 with the book. The last course is the Capstone Course. That is a project-based course, and the tuition is $995. That is the course alone. With the book, it is $1,095. So again, just an additional $100 to the prices you see here if you would like the book just shipped to you. And next slide, please. If you do have any questions, I know we're about to start a question and answer period, but after this webinar is over, if you have any additional questions that may not have been answered, or if you have questions about tuition or enrollment, please feel free. We have a team that's happy to talk to you. We've been talking to students about the course for some years now, but you can contact anyone on our enrollment team. We've listed our email here of bostonuniversity@mindmax.net. Our phone number being the 617-502-8822. Or if you do go on the website, live chat is available as another means to ask questions. And if you weren't able to write down that tuition information, don't worry because it is all listed on the website. Oh, and I apologize. Last but not least, we also listed the CFP board website for anybody who has questions with regards to maybe the exam or the experience.
All right, thank you so much, Carrie. So now at this time, we would like to take the remainder of our session today to answer any questions from our audience here. And to do so, just please type your questions in the questions box located on the right side of your screen, and we'll try to address all questions accordingly. All right, so we have a few questions that have come in throughout the presentation here today. So Carolyn, I will dive in with the first one for you. This person is saying, I would like to work part-time, excuse me, part-time. Are there a particular amount of hours that are needed to satisfy CFP rules to do so?
Yes, the CFP board, in order to satisfy their work experience requirements, they have different requirements. So you could either have to put in 2 years if you're doing comprehensive full-time financial planning for working with clients, or it is 3 years if you're not doing comprehensive planning. Like, for example, if you're just, let's say, doing tax advice or something that's not integrating all the different subject areas. So the CFP board breaks it down into years and also, I believe, into hours as well. But what I would direct you to is the CFP board's website, because they actually have a matrix there, which is fantastic. You're able to put in the work experience that you have and the amount of hours that you've been able to put in, and the CFP board matrix will let you be aware of how much more time that you need in order to fulfill your work experience requirements. So please take a look at the CFP board's website and read up also on the very particular information they have about the work experience requirement.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. The next one is for you as well. This person is asking, how important are sales skills for the CFP profession?
That's a really very good question. You know, what we're really talking about here today are the academic skills that are necessary and the skills to work with clients, such as the communication and counseling skills. But obviously, if you're going to be working for a firm or you're going to be setting up your own financial planning practice, then there certainly are opportunities for you to get in front of the public and to be able to use your sales skills and sales techniques that you've developed over time. So if you have those skills, you will probably find that comes in very handy in this profession as well.
Great, thank you very much, Carolyn. This one here, I believe, would be for you, Carolyn, as well. What does the application process look like? Maybe just a quick high-level summation for this person.
Sarah, if I may actually take that one?
Oh, sure, of course, Carrie, yes.
Sorry to cut you off. There is actually no application required. If it is something that you would like to do, it is a straightforward registration on our website.
Thank you, Carrie. And this next question, how long does the program take to complete, and is it self-paced to speed that up?
I can take that one as well. Sure.
Sure. Thank you.
So it does vary dependent on the user and dependent on how much time you spend in the course, as well as the experience that you are bringing to the table. Based on approximately 8 to 10 hours of study per week, an average student would complete each course in approximately 2 to 3 months. That does give you a range of 14 months to taking the full 21 months. As I mentioned, it is going to depend a lot on how much time you're spending as well as the experience you bring to the table, but that is a good average.
And may I also just jump in and add one thing too. In every course that you're taking, we have study guides that are available to you as well, so that if you want to complete your courses within a 3-month period of time, then you would be able to stay on track with your studies and be able to take a look at your study guide and follow that pattern. We also have suggested accelerated study guides for you too, if you want to complete the course in as little as 9 months or as long as the 21 months that you have available for the program.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. Carolyn, I believe this next one would be for you as well. How does the industry view individuals with a BS in something other than finance, such as hospitality management, but then go for your CFP certification? The second part kind of ties into that. Is this a common way to get into the industry, or would another undergraduate degree be preferred?
Well, one of the requirements that CFP Board has, and this is part of the education requirement, is that you do need to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree in order to become certified. So if you don't have a bachelor's degree at the present time and you would like to begin a CFP program, that's perfectly fine. But once you pass the CFP Board's exam, you will have 5 years in order to get your bachelor's degree, so that at some point you will not actually be certified as a financial planner until you have that bachelor's requirement. Now, in terms of the types of education studies that you have and what your education background is, that is not really important to CFP Board. Frankly, I was an English major and became a certified financial planner. Other people work either have had undergraduate work in accounting or finance or business administration, but it really doesn't matter because as long as you have that bachelor's degree, you're fine. In terms of work experience that the board will credit you with for the different type of work that you've done in the past, what CFP Board is really looking for is making sure that financial planners who have the work experience in the field have worked with clients and have been able to provide financial planning advice. But I'm just giving you a very general overview there. What I would again like you to do is take a look at the CFP Board website and look at their work experience requirements and see how they frame that. Because quite frankly, there's a broader scope to becoming a CFP with your work experience requirements than there has been in the past. So that even people like journalists, for example, would be able to qualify for the CFP work experience requirement. So again, the best thing to do would be to look at the CFP Board's website. But just knowing that you have an undergraduate degree in something that is not financial planning related is not going to be a barrier for you to enter the field.
Wonderful answer. Thank you, Carolyn. Next one for you. How would you recommend sort of testing out this field for those of us who are unsure if this is the right career path? Maybe some resources that we listed in the PowerPoint here, or anything like that.
I think a lot of the resources that the CFP Board has available would be really very helpful because especially the WIN mentoring, you may want to start up a mentoring opportunity with somebody who is already a certified financial planner that can really answer your own personal questions and direct you that way. A second ideal thing to do would be to join the local professional organizations like the Financial Planning Association and NAPFA if you may be interested in fee-only financial planning. So there are community resources that are available, there's CFP Board resources that are available, and you may even want to just go ahead and take an introduction to financial planning course. As Carrie has pointed out, you can also just, instead of taking a full program, you could take one course to see if that's something that you're interested in. I know for the online program and our Introduction to Financial Planning course, we have an awful lot of information about what it's like to be a financial planner, and it will really give you a sense of what financial planning is all about and working with clients.
Thank you very much. Next question, what age is too old to become a CFP? I have 20 years of experience in complementary industries, and I see so many families with unprepared parents who really need a caring, trustworthy professional to protect their assets. And Carolyn,
there is no cutoff age whatsoever. And I would say that if you have a passion for helping others, it may be during your retirement years that you've decided that you want to go in a new direction and work with families and or even do pro bono financial planning for people who really need it, such as veterans and people who are going through medical issues and things of that nature. There's so many opportunities to help out other people by becoming a certified financial planner that as long as you're willing to put in the time and the effort and the work, we'd love to have you in our field at any age.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. This person's asking for you, Carolyn, what is the difference between a regular CFP and a lead CFP as you talked about in the salary section?
I think what that was from U.S. News and World Report. So I think that that's what they were trying to differentiate between those that just have an average salary was quoted, but then those who are more senior financial planning practitioners, what they're able to make.
Great, thank you very much. So this person's just asking a program-related question. How many people complete this program every year? Maybe Carrie, that for you? Or Carolyn, either or.
That one, I do not have the exact numbers on. Evelyn, I don't know if you could provide us a little bit of insight or if that's something that we'd have to get back to you on.
I'd be happy to share just generally. We do have between each of the exams, we always have several dozen students who are completing and then registering for that upcoming exam. So there are quite a few, and that is both for our online and our on-campus program, which our on-campus program is much smaller, but many of our online students are completing the program and then registering for the exams 3 times a year. We are submitting several student names to the CFP board of those who have successfully completed our program. So many do complete throughout the year.
Great. Thank you, Evelyn.
Of course.
All right. And Carolyn, do you have to be sponsored by an employer to sit for the CFP exam?
No, not at all. As long as you meet the education requirement, then the CFP board will consider that you're eligible to sit for the exam. So it is not employer related.
Thank you very much. Next question, how do I find out more about working in a practice where the CFP owner will be retiring in the near future? I think for this one, again, I would refer to the CFP board's resources slide to see basically the same skills as we presented earlier as well. Unless you have anything else to
and also,
to add.
Yeah, and just add also your professional organizations too. Right. Remember that the members of professional organizations are the ones who are probably doing the looking for new candidates that they can hire and bring on. So if they get to know you through your FPA meetings or NAPFA meetings and through networking events, then you may be approached without them ever having to post positions that they're looking for someone.
Great, thank you. This person is based in Ottawa, and they're asking if the tax course would still be relevant for them.
I think what needs to happen is that I know Canada has their own financial planning programs, and I think you may need to look into that because obviously the tax laws are very different from Canada and the United States. And taxes really run throughout all of the different courses in the CFP field, so that estate planning is very tax-oriented, retirement planning is tax-oriented, but it's not just taxes, it's also government policies and programs and things of that nature too. So I would really suggest that you look into the Canadian financial planning requirements and what their courses are all about, and because certainly you want to be certified in the proper place.
Great, thank you. This person is considering a change to the CFP field, but they need to ensure an income. Do companies and brokerages hire people without work experience if you have still passed the CFP exam? And can you talk about apprenticeships? Carolyn.
Sure, I'm happy to take that. Yes, there are many companies do have internships or apprenticeships, or will take on people who have gone through the education requirement and have sat for the CFP board's exam. They know those people are in a great position to be hired for entry-level positions within their firms. And obviously the reason is because the CFP credential is so well respected, and they know that if you have completed your financial planning courses and completed the education requirements and then had the initiative to sit for the CFP board's exam and successfully pass that, that you have the motivation and the skills and the knowledge that's necessary to work in their firms. And so you would be an attractive candidate to firms who would be interested in hiring newcomers to the field in entry-level positions.
Thank you. And now, Carolyn, this person's asking, can you explain more about the Capstone course? As you mentioned, it involves a project.
Yes, I'd be happy to. The Capstone course is a required course in all of the CFP programs throughout the country, and it is the last course that you would be taking. So that what it really does, or especially the Boston University Capstone course does, is that it ties together all the different subject areas that you have taken individually, so that by the time you have finished all of those core courses, such as income tax planning, estate planning, retirement planning, investment planning, all the rest of them, then you're going to be able to put all of that knowledge together as you work with clients to develop a financial plan. So at Boston University, our Capstone course requirement is you have to develop a financial plan and you have to present it to the faculty. Now, the way we have you do that is we already have a case that's ready for you. So it really just needs you to take a look at that case and put your input into it, your financial planning recommendations into it. And then once you have completed that case, then we have you do a presentation through Vimeo. So Vimeo.com, you're able to get on your computer at your home or your office and record your presentation, and we'll have a chance to look at that. And that's actually the fun part, because what people have done is they've done all the hard work, and now they're just presenting it to these fictitious clients who are part of their case. And so people get very creative with doing that. Some of it's very funny. Some of it's bringing on other people to be in the room and be filmed as if they're the actual clients. We really enjoy that, and it looks like our students do as well. So again, this is the Capstone project, is completing that financial plan and recording a presentation for us through video, and then you are finished. There is no other requirement for the Capstone course. There's no exam that goes along with the Capstone course, because this requirement is enough to have you really work hard on putting together comprehensive financial planning.
A wonderful answer, Carolyn. Thank you. And can you now talk a bit about an example of what a day-to-day life might look like for a CFP, such as maybe the hours, the stress, performance goals, or any cold calling that's involved?
That would be very difficult to answer. And the reason is because CFPs work in so many different fields. But if you're talking about for financial planners, people who go to work for financial planning firms, generally what it's going to be doing is they're going to be working with clients and client situations, doing analysis, recommendations for those clients based on their goals, based on their risk tolerance levels, based on their financial circumstances. So there's going to be a lot of client-centered work that you would need to do. There's going to be a lot of meeting with clients. You're going to have live meetings with clients. You're going to have meetings with your clients, going to see other professionals such as estate planning attorneys or insurance agents or whatever it is that client really requires. So there's an awful lot of client-centered work in financial planning, and obviously there's a lot of technical expertise and analysis that is part of the job as well.
I would think that's a good summary. Thank you. And this next question touches upon our bit there about the Latino and people of color being, welcome into the field and really the need for more of these people. And this question is asking, what do you think is the main reason, in your opinion, why the number of Latino and people of color and women in the CFP field is so low?
Something, I really don't know the answers to that, and I wish that I did, because as the CFP board and other firms and different study groups do surveys to the general public to find out what the reasons are, then then we'll be in a better position to help advance our profession forward in these areas. Being a woman financial planner and having my CFP for 26 years, I can tell you that it's just so surprising that we're still at 23% of women make up the CFP profession. And isn't that incredible? I mean, you think even 1 year would go up one more percentage point or something, or gradually start to increase, but it hasn't changed, as I mentioned, for over 20 years. And so the reasons for that is perhaps there hasn't been a greater awareness in the general public about the fact that financial planning is a profession and that it's such a great profession with a lot of flexibility built in for anyone who's interested in joining this field. And I think that it's a young profession, as I mentioned. Financial planning has only been around for 50 years. And I think as the general public gets to understand that this is a viable profession, it's sustainable, there is incredible growth in this profession, and there's so much opportunity to work in so many different areas within financial planning, that it's a very rewarding and attractive profession as well. And once that message gets out to the general public, I think we'll start seeing some of these percentages change, and hopefully we'll be able to be more inclusive as a profession.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. This next question for you, can you offer some successful tips or strategies when working through the BU course modules?
Not only can I offer that, but once you sign up for the program, you will read it yourself. We've put together a whole bunch of information about successful tips and how to approach going through the program and what to do first and how to be successful. So we have lots and lots of those tips. Not only that, but just to let you be aware too, at the end of your program, when you finish the Capstone course, we have one last module for you to go through. And what that is about tips for getting prepared to take the CFP Board certification exam. So we're all about tips. We're all about sharing the information. So please take advantage of all that information that's included within our program.
Great, thank you. This next person says, I do not have experience in this field. Where would I start to look for entry-level positions? And would a company be open to hiring someone who is currently working through the BU program?
Well, the answer is, as far as the last part, yes. I mean, we've certainly had our students be hired by financial planning firms in the Boston area. One of the things that I would suggest to you is take a look at BU's website, because whenever we have opportunities about positions that are available here in the Boston area, we add them to our website. So you can take a look at that. But not only that, one of the things that we're hoping to do is have career development resource information included within our financial planning online program. And so we've just recently met about that, and hopefully within, I'd say perhaps the next year, we'll have a lot of that information too, just so that you'll be able to go and see profiles of different firms, what they're looking for, what the different types of entry-level positions are, what the salary ranges are, what's required, what kind of skills are necessary, how do some of these firms work with clients, what's the difference between fee-only versus those that are, fee-based financial planning firms. We're going to have a lot more information for our students in the future, because our students really are asking about that and really need to know what career opportunities are available for them out in the field. The other last thing I want to say is take a look at the CFP Board's career website. They again have that career center, and what that means is that you can go ahead and post your resume to the center, and this is for all 50 states now. And also, you will be able to see resumes that have already been posted from different financial planning firms who are looking for entry-level talent. So there are different ways to get connected out there. And again, your local professional organizations are there to help you as well.
All right, thank you. And we only have a few minutes left in today's presentation, but we have just a few questions that we will address before the end is near. So our next question here, Carolyn, is there any conference that you would recommend that one should attend to expand their knowledge and networking if you had to pinpoint one or two?
For networking opportunities, I would say nothing better than, again, your local professional organizations. They all have networking opportunities, and they also have continuing education forums where you can go and learn a lot of great information. And then once you get your CFP, you will want those continuing education credits as well. But they're the people in your community who can reach out to you, connect you with other people, help you learn information about what's going on, put you in contact with others who may share the same interests as you. So I think that's always the most valuable resource of all. I just wanted to mention to you, too, that both of these organizations, the FPA and NAPFA, they also have student membership discounts, too. So if you decide that you want to enroll in the Boston University program, I would encourage you to look into joining these professional organizations at a student member rate, because it is probably one of the very best values that's available to you in our field.
Thank you, Carolyn. And probably our last question for today is, can you please comment on the major distinctions between the CFP program and the CFA program?
Yes. The CFA is Chartered Financial Analyst, and that is a designation that a lot of people, certification that a lot of people want to get who want to work primarily in investment planning or wealth management services. What you do to become a CFA is you have 3 national exams that you have to take. And so they're offered every year, but there are 3 different levels of examinations. That's very different than the way we operate for certified financial planners. What you have to do to become certified, obviously, is you sit for one exam, which is the CFP Board's certification exam. And that is a 6-hour computer-based exam, and it's given 3 times a year. So you don't need to continue to, once you pass that one exam, you don't have any further exams, and you can keep your CFP as long as you remain in good standing and practice very ethical conduct. And also if you are current with your continuing education requirements too.
All right, thank you very much. And it looks like that's about all the time we have today for our questions and answers session. We did get to a large majority of the questions today, but if we did not get to your question, please feel free to reach out to us at the phone number or email or even live chat listed on the previous slide here. And as a reminder, we will be sending a recording to today's webinar session to all attendees and registrants within the next few days following this presentation. So keep a lookout in your inbox for that. So that concludes our session for today. Thank you all again for spending your afternoon with us. We wish you great success on your path towards CFP certification, and thank you, Carolyn and Carrie. And everyone have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.